Hello and welcome to the big picture. With just about a day to go for the last date for filing nominations to the Maharashtra Assembly elections to be held on October 15th, the long-standing alliances in the state have virtually broken down. With little window available for all the four parties, Congress, NCP, BJP and Shiv Sena, to mend fences, the situation seems to be hurtling towards a fractured polity not seen in the state for the last 25 years. The BJP and Shiv Sena, which have been allies for 25 years, and Congress and NCP for 15 years, have broken up with all of them indulging in politics of brinkmanship. Will any of the two alliances be able to be restored in the last minute? Or will all four parties decide to go on their own way? Will we witness five-cornered or at least four-cornered contests in the state? How will all this play out and why did these alliances break up? We will discuss all this today with a panel of very experienced journalists who have all watched the politics of Maharashtra keenly for decades. I have with me Vinod Sharma, political editor, Hindustan Times, K.S. Sachidananda Murthy, resident editor of the Week magazine, Smita Gupta, associate editor of the Hindu, and Anant Bagaitkar, chief of bureau, Sakal Group. Welcome to all of you. Anant, actually, I would like to come to you first. You are the man who have lived in that state for long. You know you belong to that state. Why both alliances? Was it just brinkmanship on part of them? About 1 month back, we have heard this kind of problems every time in the last 15 years that the elections have been there. But why has it broken down now?
You see, this BJP, as far as BJP Shiv Sena alliance is concerned, or Maha-yuti, you may call it, it became stale after 25 years. So obviously, both the parties wanted something new. And please try to understand that in BJP constituencies, Shiv Sena had to play a second fiddle, vice versa, in BJP's So obviously there was no room, no scope for the party
to grow.
Each
party is in their different.
And with the BJP's victory in Lok Sabha election, last Lok Sabha election, obviously they started dreaming big as far as Maharashtra is concerned, because Narendra Modi has an interest in Maharashtra and obviously Maharashtra and Mumbai. So being a financial capital of this country, so obviously BJP wanted that they can encash upon what Modi has achieved in the last Lok Sabha election in Maharashtra. That is the main reason. And let us not talk that BJP became arrogant or like that. But speaking completely politically, obviously this was the main factor. On the other hand, Shiv Sena, obviously after Balasaheb Thackeray's death, Uddhav Thackeray also wanted to show that he is leader in his own
right.
So obviously this was the opportunity, and looking at the favorable atmosphere for the Shiv Sena as well as BJP, he wanted again to cash on that. So Shiv Sena for the first time came out with the specific demand, or in fact very assertively they said that yes, this time chief ministership will be for Shiv Sena. And even Uddhav Thackeray.
Why did they have to say that? Because in the previous governments that they've always had.
No, there was a fear. No, Girish. There was a fear somewhere back of their mind that which Shiv Sena, BJP, because even in the last Lok Sabha election, striking rate of BJP was higher than Shiv Sena.
So before they could make a claim, they made the claim.
They made the claim.
Okay, we'll come to the Congress and NCP thing later. Vinod, would you agree with him that this May election results is what has created this rift?
Yes, of course, that's the trigger, but there is more to it than meets the eye. First of all, let me say that at a pan-Indian level, what you are witnessing is the national versus the regional. You saw it in Bihar, you saw it in Karnataka, you saw it in Tamil Nadu, and you've seen it in Maharashtra now. That the alliances that existed between national political parties and the regional parties have been on the decline, or they have not, they've ceased to exist. The only Living example of such an alliance is Andhra Pradesh, perhaps, but then the next assembly elections, let's wait until then. You see, I think that...
Sorry?
I think, no, Akali is even the... Yeah, Akali Dal is there, but it's a very small state, and Akalis have a dominant say there. There was also a problem in Punjab because when Akali Dal had put up so many Hindu candidates that the BJP is increasing to make BJP irrelevant in that state. So, I personally feel that this was not as much, it became a fight for chief ministership because it was actually a fight for political space between two parties that had identical political turf to nurse and to regain, and to expand within.
So, after 25 years, there was this kind of feeling among both the parties that we have to go separately.
No,
for 25 years, how did
the special circumstances? Special circumstances vis-a-vis the BJP was a stupendous performance in the Lok Sabha, and special circumstances for the Shiv Sena. This is the first election they are fighting post Bal Thackeray, and
they had to assert themselves.
So, Bal Thackeray, while Bal Thackeray had the de facto power to remote control a government, Mr. Uddhav Thackeray needs a de jure coronation to be able to run a government directly. And secondly, you see, there were certain statements made in the run-up to the seat-sharing discussions, which were very disconcerting from the standpoint of both political parties. The first statement that came was that Matushri is no longer the sanctum sanctorum of Maharashtra politics, that the BJP leaders wouldn't be going to Matushri as they used to when Bal Thackeray was alive. And then came the statement of Mr. Uddhav Thackeray that the BJP should remember, the Prime Minister should remember that his chief ministership was protected on the intervention of Bal Thackeray with L.K. Advani in 2002.
Right.
Now, I think that when you have this kind of a public discourse in the run-up to a proposed pact, you're actually muddying waters.
Absolutely. Yes.
Just to add what Vinod has said, that when we talked to BJP leadership here, we were told, very interestingly, that it was not breaking, alliance was not breaking, and in fact Shiv Sena was coming down to 149 also, but it was made to break. Those were the words
These were the words used by the BJP leaders.
BJP.
Smita, is that the way it is? The BJP was, do you think the BJP was set upon breaking this, at least the national leadership of the BJP was set upon breaking up this alliance?
I think so, because you see, after the results of the general elections, the BJP had a certain confidence that, perhaps it could, bring about a change in Maharashtra and be in a position to call the shots. They also didn't want to be in a position where they form a government with the Shiv Sena, and then Shiv Sena, we all know, even if it is Uddhav Thackeray, not Bal Thackeray, they do control a large chunks of Mumbai,
Yeah.
And they didn't want that kind of daily interference. So I think that in both cases, in both the alliances, there was a sense right from the beginning that it could break. In the case of the BJP Sena, because the BJP thought that it should try its luck on its own and didn't want any Shiv Sena or anyone to interfere. And even if they cannot get a majority, they're hoping to get be the single largest party and then get some independents who will be subservient to them. In the case of the NCP Congress...
We will come to the NCP Congress a little later. Sachi, Congress, BJP Shiv Sena alliance. So, do you also agree that the BJP leadership after the May 2014...
No, it was before that, Girish.
Because before that?
If you look at what happened in Maharashtra in April, there was two lines in the BJP. One was the Munde line, the other was the Gadkari line.
Right.
And Gadkari publicly said that we should go with MNS. And Uddhav threw such a tantrum. And then Rajnath Singh was then the national president of the BJP, had to intervene, call him. And Shiv Sena summoned all its leaders saying, well, let us go alone in Lok Sabha. Then Shiv Sena gave a public warning to the BJP that we will decide. So, because Nitin Gadkari always felt that Raj Thackeray was the better of was a real successor to Bal Thackeray, not Uddhav. Whereas Gopinath Munde, who died immediately after the Lok Sabha elections were won by the BJP. He was more comfortable dealing with Uddhav, and he had this thing, and he was a dominant leader. If he was alive, he would have been the chief ministerial candidate of the BJP. So there was a lot of mistrust between BJP and Shiv Sena before the Lok Sabha election. Candidates were finalized. Then, of course, they had a talk worked out that we'll go together. But Uddhav had at that time warned, if you keep on needling us, we will go alone. So this rift had started, because this rift, it was a continuation of the rift between Munde and Gadkari within the BJP.
Okay, that's interesting. Anant, is this a problem if we assume that the unfortunate death of Gopinath Munde, if it had not happened, if he was alive and if he was around, you think what would have been the scenario?
This situation would not have arisen.
This would not have arisen.
Because Gopinath Munde means, okay, Gadkari is there, but Gadkari never fought an election. This is for the first time he fought the election, and that too in a wave he
has won.
He has won. But Gopinath Munde, he was a mass leader, and he actually, this last Lok Sabha election, whatever social engineering was made, it was by Gopinath Munde.
Right.
And in fact, Sachi said it's correct that Nitin Gadkari, he made secretly the MNS chief Raj Thackeray, and he actually, that was the real flashpoint. I mean, Shiv Sena got really enraged. They got so angry, and they said, if you want to continue like this, then there should not be any alliance between us. So I think that thing was started before Lok Sabha, and obviously it was brewing for last so many months, and then now.
So you think that if Munde were to be alive, Shiv Sena would have accepted his leadership, would have accepted him as the chief minister candidate without creating the problems?
Not his leadership, but you should remember one thing. In last Vidhan Sabha election, assembly elections, BJP got one or two seats, I think more. And leader of the opposition's post went to BJP, and Shiv Sena accepted that. So I think it was in fact how BJP leadership was dealing with Shiv Sena. Earlier Vajpayee was there, Advani was there. They used to talk to Balasaheb Thackeray. But yes, obviously now it's a generational change. But if you look at the present national leadership of the BJP, you see more arrogance, more stiffness, and what Vinod has said, I completely agree. Actually, I wanted to make that point, but didn't get the time. You see a design in BJP strategy. Now they want to fix and kill all the regional parties. They want a unipolar polity in India after Congress. So I think they are actually going towards that goal.
Okay, interesting. Now let's come to Congress. Congress and NCP have ruled for 15 years there, huge anti-incumbency. Everybody is talking about how difficult it is for this alliance to win. And in this kind of a situation, they are fighting over who should have chief ministership or whether there should be a rotationship of chief ministership. Doesn't it look ridiculous, Vinod?
It's like thieves fighting before they have struck gold. It's ironical. But I think it's symptomatic of what's happening also to some extent within the Nationalist Congress Party and also within the Congress Party. Ajit Pawar was always a great votary of the Nationalist Congress Party going alone. And Ajit Pawar, all of us know, though the supremo of the party is Sharad Pawar and his word is final, but Ajit Pawar is somebody who cannot be ignored within the party. He has tremendous control over the party organization in the state, which is the mainstay of the NCP. And similarly, Prithviraj Chauhan was not very keen to go along with the Nationalist Congress Party because, there is a school of thought in the Congress which believes that, associating with Ajit Pawar is, not a great idea, because Ajit Pawar...
This school of thought which you are talking about, led by Prithviraj Chauhan, has been there for the last 15 years.
Yeah, it has been there, but now you see what happened.
Prithviraj Chauhan was sent to Maharashtra with this brief only.
This brief only. No, you see, the point is that when the BJP Shiv Sena alliance fell apart, this was, this was temptation enough for the Nationalist Congress Party to also break free of the Congress. You see, if you remember, now let me go back to the Gadkari thing again, that there was this talk of Nationalist Congress Party, cozying up to the BJP in the run-up to the Lok Sabha elections. And it was Gopinath Munde who made a disclosure later that we had received feelers from Sharad Pawar and we rebuffed those feelers. Now, that cause of those feelers too was Nitin Gadkari. So there is a problem. Within the BJP, I mean, there are factions, there are different schools of thought, let us not call them factions. And there are different schools of thoughts within the Congress and the Nationalist Congress Party. But the irony is that had these two hung together in the after the split of the BJP Shiv Sena, I think my personal feeling is, and it's only a gut feeling, because I think now the elections would largely be depending on what kind of candidates are you giving. Because when the race is so crowded that the personal appeal of the candidate, carries the day. And we'll have to see who sets up the best candidates.
Yeah, Smita, so Congress, there has been, as we all know that there is a school of thought within the Congress which never accepted the idea of going along with the NCP. But now, in this kind of a situation, what is the courage which they have to go for elections alone?
I don't think the Congress, see, the thing is that the Congress, as we know, there are two opinions within the Congress. Within the state unit, I think barring Ashok Chavan, all the others were pretty keen to go alone because they felt that Ajit Pawar was baggage. They would have to defend him and his irrigation scam and, various other things. At the central level, I think Rahul Gandhi, who was instrumental in sending Prithviraj Chavan to Mumbai, also was backing him. Mrs. Gandhi has taken a seems to have taken a back seat, just as Sharad Pawar seems to have taken a bit of a back seat there and allowed Ajit Pawar to drive the negotiations. And in this generation, just like in the BJP, where there is no chemistry between the BJP leadership and the Sena leadership, there is no chemistry between
the second generation of leaders.
Yeah.
That's very interesting, Sachi. Yeah. The thing is, as Smita rightly pointed out, where is Sonia Gandhi in all these negotiations? Where is even Rahul Gandhi in all these negotiations? Sharad Pawar apparently Sharad Pawar for the first time, in fact, during all this, has tweeted just now. I just want to read what he has tweeted. He says, I would like to say that there were significant differences between our party and Congress on various critical issues. Due to time constraint and other issues, we were compelled to take bold steps to end 15 years of alliance with Congress in Maharashtra. Except this tweet which has come just a couple of hours back, these three, especially Sonia Gandhi and Sharad Pawar, we have seen in the past, these kind of problems have always been there before any elections in Maharashtra. They both would come together and seal the deal. Why is it that these two have completely kept themselves out of it?
Yeah, Girish, there are, again, I'm sorry to come back to dead leaders. Congress is missing Vilasrao Deshmukh. Because, between the last election, death of these three leaders has caused a lot. Because Vilasrao was a strong Congress leader. I mean, even now, a lot of people who say that compared to Prithviraj Chavan or to Ashok Chavan, he was the one who could make things work and all that. Now, between Sonia and Rahul, in the last 10 years, Rahul has never taken any interest in talking to any of the allies of the Congress party. Even as the vice president of the Congress, after he became vice president, he never went and met any regional leaders. He has kept himself aloof from this because he has taken the stand that talking to allies is the work of Sonia Gandhi and the political secretary Ahmed Patel. So he has kept, but Sonia herself, you are right, this time of course she had to go out of the country for personal reasons and all that. So, but the widest expectation last week was that Pawar and Sonia will meet and clinch it. But obviously,
this is what has happened every time in the past.
It has happened in the past. So this time, Pawar, I think, could not get the mandate from his own leaders. He is quite weak. And also earlier, in the last Lok Sabha election, the assembly election, they were in power at the center together. So that was one of the
Binding
glue which
forces.
kept them together. So now Pawar's people are saying that let us look at other options. Congress may not come back to power for 10 years in Delhi. So we have to look at. So I think the lot of new calculations have come in, which has influenced Pawar. Otherwise, Pawar is a very cautious politician.
Absolutely.
Because he always says, what do I don't have numbers. So and he would have read out to, but he has not done it because the NCP's internal assessment is that for the next 10 years, the Congress may not come back to power.
Would you agree with that, Anant? Why is it that Sharad Pawar has kept out of the negotiation virtually? And one second, when he says, due to time constraint and other issues, we were compelled to. I mean, it sounds very weak. The argument sounds very weak.
You see, actually, we should understand the new situation now, and what Sachi has said, that absence of Vilas Rao means leaders like Vilas Rao Deshmukh. Even at the central level
Vilas Rao
also.
Deshmukh, Gopinath Munde.
But at the central level also, with A.K. Antony, we don't know where is he. Pranab Mukherjee is now president. Ahmad Patel, we don't know. So actually, we don't know what these leaders were doing. And
or even
because
Digvijay
Singh earlier, it used to be either Pranab Mukherjee and mostly Pranab Mukherjee, Antony and Ahmad Patel. They used to have negotiations with Mr. Sharad Pawar.
And they all had good equations
with each other. And they used to see something beyond elections also, many times. But I think that actually element we witnessed this time, that is missing, and somehow things have gone out of the hand.
Completely out of hand. Vinod?
You see the craft of keeping allies, I'm surprised that nobody is named Pramod Mahajan, who is the man who actually set the foundation.
Absolutely.
Put the foundation of the Sena BJP alliance. And Pramod Mahajan, and consequently, you see, Munde inherited the legacy of Pramod Mahajan in terms of keeping Sena and BJP together. Now, the kind of people who are negotiating, the party chief of BJP did not go to Bombay, he kept himself in Delhi and all that. So everybody was putting up a price. But may I say one thing, with all due humility, that even at the time of portfolio distribution, the BJP gave extremely short shrift to its allies, And I do not think any of its allies at the center has any significant portfolio. And there's just one portfolio with Shiv Sena, and which is heavy industry, which is just heavy in name, I mean, not in actual substance, And similarly, you have given civil aviation to Mr. TDP, which means nothing. I mean, it's just about managing the air traffic control or something of that sort. So, their participation in governance has been extremely marginalized. And at the same time, you see, because there is now a single party rule, there is natural trepidation amongst regional parties to hold on to the turf which makes them relevant at the center. And this problem you will face increasingly, you will witness this problem increasingly in every state where a mainline party, national party has been fighting elections in tandem with the regional
parties. That's interesting. Smita, now that, this virtually, both the alliances have come unstuck. Is there any hope in the next 24 hours to do something about it and, at least do some patchwork?
I really don't think so, but I can tell you that yesterday after the NCP Congress broke up, we were told that the entire Congress list of 288 was ready and should have been released last night. But they kept waiting till midnight in case something else happened, and they will release it. They haven't yet released it. They're going to release it at night. Okay. So there is some. I mean, obviously there are some elements, but I think that's in Delhi. I think in Maharashtra, the Congress unit is very happy because there will be more tickets for people, more and they feel kind of relieved. I think.
Would you agree with that, Anant?
I don't know because
you still think there is a window of opportunity for them to mend fences at this time?
No. I don't see. No. I don't see that.
You don't see that.
I don't see that. But I think I don't know whether Congress is happy or not at the state level.
No, but I think both sides, at both the alliances, the erstwhile allies are trying to keep doors ajar Well, you know, and the reason cited for the breakup is the same. The BJP has cited the same reason, the NCP has cited the same reason, time constraint. And actually, I think they are actually looking at a post-electoral tie-up, if possible, if together they can aggregate to form a government.
Okay. Sachi, would you agree with that? You think that there is still a door left ajar for post-poll alliance, but not before that?
But in Girish, post-poll, there is no guarantee. Because what are the numbers? Who will get how many? It depends on that. Now, if you ask any of these four parties, will you get a majority, will you be the single largest party? Now, nobody can say what will be the outcome. And you know, Shiv Sena has abused the BJP as a party of crows in this morning's thing. And BJP leaders have been told that please start abusing them only after Saturday, once the nomination deadline is over. And Ajit Pawar has let loose against the Congress. So I don't think before the elections there is any chance. But post-poll, everybody can do somersaults depending on the numbers and all that.
It's an open house.
But then Girish, one point I would like to say about BJP is, on the day the BJP parliamentary party and the NDA parliament elected Mr. Modi as the leader, they claimed that this was the biggest ever coalition in the country's history, 24 parties, and all of them were paraded. Now look at what has happened. In Haryana, there is no ally. They have dropped their ally now in Maharashtra, and even out of the four small parties, Ramdas Athawale is unlikely to go. So I think the whole NDA and UPA are both unraveling in the last few months.
It is the first Hindutva separation.
Hindutva separation. What happens to...
but very significant.
Nobody is actually...
Absolutely.
In fact, Anant, the thing is, what happens to Raj Thackeray? Do you think because of all these things he will gain in any way because of this fractured?
I don't think so.
Uddhav has already reached out to him.
Now
Uddhav made 2 calls to him today.
Yeah.
So you think that Raj and Uddhav can come back together?
It is for the Raj to decide, not Uddhav.
It's not for Uddhav to decide, it's for Raj to decide. Is there any possibility of, among these four allies, a different kind of alliance coming up? Because there's always been this, we have been hearing about NCP and Shiv Sena coming together, or NCP and BJP coming together. You think there is any such possibility happening?
Very difficult to say at this juncture. It all depends upon the outcome.
The pre-poll, Sachi, pre-poll, there will be no alliances. Is that what we are looking at?
I mean, the only hope is somebody desperately reaches out to Raj Thackeray tonight. And then say, all right, we'll give you 50 seats or something.
Having a little alliance with Samajwadi.
With Samajwadi Party. Among these four parties, you don't think there will be any realignment happening?
See, I think if they do, they will be ceding a lot of ground to the separated ally. You know, because, their turfs are the same, and if they walk across, and NCP walks across and joins up with BJP, it is going to lose all its ground to the Congress.
Exactly.
You see?
So you don't see any possibility of them coming together?
I do not see any pre-poll alliance, but I see great possibility of post-poll alliances of queer nature, I mean, you never know. And then they will come and tell you, Girish, that the mandate is for us to work together. Because it's a fractured mandate. So I mean, politician is very ingenious in this country. So when it comes to seizing power, so you will have all kinds of ingenious arguments.
We don't know, because now the trend seems to be, voters, they vote for stability and for one party. What we saw in UP.
So anyway, I think we come to the end of the show. But it will be very interesting to watch what's going to happen in Maharashtra. This confidence, or as some people say, overconfidence of the BJP that they will be able to carry on the same way what they did in May 2014 is something which we'll have to look closely at. As things unravel in the next few weeks, we will be able to find out what is happening actually in the ground in Maharashtra. But it's a very sad day actually that these two alliances which were together for so many years had to break up in this kind of a war of brinkmanship. We don't know who will win finally. We'll have to wait and watch. Thanks to all my guests, Sachidananda Murthy, Anant Bagaitkar, Vinod Sharma and Smita Gupta. Please keep watching. We'll come back with another issue, The Big Picture, same time on Monday. Meanwhile, have a great weekend.